Environmental sustainability and gender equality. Does one good thing lead to another? I research social and environmental sustainability. The managers I study, sustainability managers in organizations, are often regarded as hippies on the third floor by their colleagues. They are considered too green by people within the organization and not green enough by people outside the organization. Many sustainability managers that I've talked to over the years report being under-resourced and, much like Oliver Twist, seem to be always pleading for resources to address sustainability. Please, sir, can I have some more? But hold on, who else in organizations might feel similarly? I'm increasingly becoming aware that managers dealing with issues related to diversity and gender equality are also experiencing very similar challenges. So what motivated our research question? In our previous study, we found that progressing sustainability in organizations is often accompanied by structural changes within and across organizational boundaries. These structural changes can lead to a long-term commitment to sustainability. We wondered if these changes can be harnessed to progress other social objectives such as gender equality. After all, organizations are increasingly expected to progress both environmental sustainability and gender equality by their internal stakeholders such as employees and by their external stakeholders such as community members. On the one hand, both goals require a long-term commitment and challenge decision makers to think beyond immediate returns on investment. On the other hand, environmental sustainability and gender equality continue to operate within their respective functional areas. Our research question considers whether and how commitment to environmental sustainability might facilitate progress towards gender equality and vice versa. We explicitly focus on an organization that is B Corp certified. B Corp certification is a voluntary self-regulation that focuses on 5 pillars: governance, workers, customers, community, and the environment. B Corp certification ensures organizational action on both environmental and gender issues and provides us with a valuable context to focus on any potential interactions between these two areas. Our case study is a customer-owned bank that is B Corp certified. For this research, we did interviews with the senior managers, we did focus groups with employees, we did non-participant observations, and we looked at the policies and programs available from the website. So what are our findings? Our findings in the case study organization highlight that despite commitment to both environmental sustainability and gender equality, there was no direct or immediate interaction between environmental sustainability and gender equality. However, over time, unexpected linkages started to develop, leading to synergistic dynamics. Activities in one domain started benefiting and accelerating action in the other domain. I'll be using the 3 spaces framework for sustainable change that our research team has developed as a part of this project to explain our findings. Our framework describes organizations as operating across 3 distinct metaphorical spaces: physical, mental, and social. Physical space describes the organization's formal structures, roles, policies, and programs. Mental space is the organizational members' shared understanding, and social space is the external stakeholders' shared perception of organizational action on these issues. We found that the dynamics that lead to these linkages between environmental sustainability and gender equality happened over time within and across the physical, mental, and social spaces. So what is happening in the physical space? So we found that in our case study organization, there was a shared responsibility for both environmental sustainability and gender equality. So as a result of the B Corp certification, some executives and managers had responsibility for both these issues. These structural linkages ensure the organization's commitment to both environment and gender. However, despite these common appointments, the two functions continued to operate separately. These formal linkages in the physical space did not immediately enable the organization to leverage the learnings across environmental sustainability and gender equality. So what's happening in the mental space? The mental space we found was a hotbed of change. Our findings reveal that the often unintended subsequent dynamics that result from the B Corp certification happened in the mental space, leading to deeper linkages between environmental sustainability and gender equality, which then spill over to the physical and social spaces. These dynamics in the mental space, in the main, included a heightened awareness amongst employees who over time became more vocal about calling out on both environment and gender issues and demanding action across the lagging area. In the context of our case, the lagging area was gender equality. So for example, employees noted that sustainability had a formal appointment, the sustainability manager, and had formal policies, for example, the climate risk policy, and they were starting to call it out and ask for parallel formal responsibility and policies for gender equality. In the focus groups, the employees told us that for sustainability, we've got the truck and we've got the wheels and we've got the sustainability manager who is driving us where we're supposed to reach. Whereas for gender equality, we just have the wheels spinning in the form of the diversity and the inclusion committee. Similarly, employees who had attended mentoring programs were starting to use their newfound confidence to call out on environmental unsustainability. They told us, why do we have plastic throwaway stuff in the backpacks that we are handing out on the workshops? So what's happening in the social space? The social space, the external stakeholders' perception about organizational action, we found that the social space was less active, more tacit. The shifts in the community expectations are leading organizations to respond to both environmental sustainability and gender equality. In the context of our case, environmental sustainability was more salient for the external stakeholders. However, the B Corp certification was leading to a halo effect where external stakeholders expected the organization to be progressing both these issues. Over time, these issues become bundled in the external stakeholders' minds, and the organization finds that it cannot afford slippage on the other. So what did we find? Did we find synergy? We found surely, but slowly, the synergistic dynamics are happening. These synergistic effects are often not an intended outcome of the B Corp certification. Instead, this positive shock of certification surely but slowly unleashes this coupling dynamics between environment and gender. These dynamics spin outwards from the mental space and spill over to the formal and the social space, and over time start linking environmental sustainability and gender equality. The dynamics across the physical, mental, and social space start to link environment and gender more actively and enable environmental sustainability, in the context of our case, to start pulling along gender equality. And so much like the children's picture book story about the little engine that could, where a train loaded with gifts for children gets stuck, the train asks the big, powerful, shiny engines who pass by for help, but none of them stop to help. And then this little engine comes trudging along and stops to help the train, and together The two underdogs are able to do it, deliver the gifts to the children, and for the purpose of our research, environmental sustainability and gender equality, traditionally two relatively disenfranchised functions are able to support each other. One good thing can lead to another. So I leave you with these final thoughts. Our findings highlight the potential for voluntary initiatives such as B Corp certification to support environmental sustainability and gender equality goals. Organizations usually try to address these issues through top-down processes, but their well-intended policies can be poorly implemented and have little impact on organizational practice. And also, both these issues will continue operating separately. In contrast, the certification processes can engage employees in bottom-up dynamics that can allow organizations to create the synergistic benefits between environmental sustainability and gender equality.